if someone can make their dream become a reality, that it's possible that you can make your dream become reality. And so as you begin to look at where you want to go, beginning to embrace that, it's possible. I'm blessed and highly favored. I've got a lot going for me. I got some good stuff in me. And it's possible that I can bring my greatness out here in the universe. That I can do what I want to do. It's possible I can write my own book. I can have my own business. I can take the trip and travel around the world. It's possible. I can bounce back from adversity and reinvent my life. It's possible. Regardless of where I am, the things can get better for me. It's possible. I'm thinking about two men right here in Chicago who were fairly successful, similar background, educated. They worked for a corporation for many years, and they were among many people that were laid off. Two guys who were very good friends. One went out looking for a job for several weeks along with the other one, and they faced disappointment and rejection again and again and again. They couldn't find any work, which is the story of many people across this country. One guy stopped. He became discouraged. He stopped going. He stayed home looking at television, became very argumentative and toxic with his wife, drinking beer, getting on the phone, talking to his other negative, unemployed friends, and he just gave up. The other guy kept looking for a job everywhere he could go. Every time he could get an opportunity, kept asking people, networking, checking the newspapers every day, kept going everywhere he could, trying to find a job. You have too much education. You're overqualified. You won't be here long enough. He kept going. He kept going. He went to a place and said, look here, I tell you what, if you can't hire me, and I know you can use my talents, abilities, and skills, I don't want to sit home and do nothing. Just let me do some volunteer work. You don't have to give me anything, all right? I just want to work. I want to be busy. Guy said, okay, it's on you now, but don't expect me to give you anything. It's okay. This guy came in and worked. He was the first one there. The last one to leave was the best employee there. About 4 weeks later, one of the top managers quit. They were looking for a replacement. Guess who they selected? This other guy. This guy who was volunteering his time. He got the job. What was the difference between the two men? Eyesight and mindsight. Eyesight is judging on what you see, judging according to appearances. But mindsight is how you interpret what you see. One guy said, it's not possible. It's over. I'm finished. I can't do it. I can't make it. He surrendered. I've faced rejection again and again. I'm not going anymore. There are no jobs out there. But this other guy, he felt that in spite of the no's and rejections, in spite of how bad the economy is, in spite of what the newspapers are saying, that it's possible that somebody somewhere will give me a job. He just kept going, thinking it was possible. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we have to do with our dream. Because things happen to you in life that you can never, ever anticipate. And many times when those things happen, you want to give up. I remember when I was in broadcasting, when I was a disc jockey, I became very controversial, not only being a disc jockey, but I felt that radio was something that you not only entertain people with, but you also empower them, you educate them. And I got fired. I didn't just leave, they fired me. That was a shock. I said, wait a minute. They took my microphone. I thought that was who I was. No, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't. I had to do something else. And I didn't know what else I could do. See, here's what I'm looking at. What are the uses for your life right now that you haven't even reached for yet? See, I believe that when you don't have enough encouragement to act on your dreams or ideas, or you're not enlightened enough, that life will act on you. See, life had moved on me and said, Les Brown, you have outgrown this. It's time for you to do something else. Well, I wasn't enlightened enough. I organized some disc jockeys and got my job back. So they had to fire me again. I got fired twice. Here's what I did. I had to think of something else. And so a guy suggested to me, he said, Les, why don't you run for office? I said, man, I've never run for office. I've never known anything about how to operate in the political arena. I've heard encourage people to register to vote and get out to vote, but I don't know anything about politics. He said, well, neither do the people who run for office all the time. So I ran. Now here's what I'm suggesting. I ran. You got to do what you can where you are with what you have. I didn't have any money. I didn't know anything about the political process. I didn't even have any support. But here's what the guy told me. It's possible you could win. That's all I had. I was running against an endorsed candidate. He was an incumbent. He had the newspaper support, all of the leadership in the community, and I was challenging this guy. So I had a saying when I was on radio, stand up for what you believe in because you can fall for anything. And I would go door to door. I have my kids on one side of the street. I would be on the other. And I'd knock on doors. Hello, my name is Les Brown. Tell everybody I'm still standing. They get on the phone. Child, Les Brown was to my house today. You know the boy on the radio with the big mouth? Yeah, they fired him out here. Say he's still standing. See, I'm saying just keep moving. Don't start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't spend time blaming and talking about what happened to you. See, whatever you talk about, that's what you multiply and expand in your life experience. So don't talk about stuff unless you want it to keep on happening to you, all right? So I got in that kind of action. As I continue to do that, had my children with me, were going door to door, didn't have enough money. Eventually, we got close to the election and something happened that really surprised me. Guys who I thought were going to either support me or stay out of it, various powerful community leaders, they became involved in it and they endorsed my opponent. I felt devastated. Now that's going to happen to you when you're working on your dream. Things are going to happen that's going to catch you on the blind side. That was shocking to me. They didn't have to do that. All they had to do was just stay out of it. But here they go, come up in there messing with me. Now that's going to happen. There's some people who believe it's their personal business to stop you from living your dream, all right? But I didn't deal with that. You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do. And so I was driving to the radio station. My opponent had over $20,000. I had less than $800. As I was in the radio station, the guy said, "You're going to make a commercial?" I said, "Yes." He said, "It better be a good one because that money can't go pretty far here." And I sat there in the middle control room and I was thinking, and here's what happens when you get still. Stuff will start coming. Something said, "Call your mama." We used to talk about your mother on the air all the time. Ask her to say a few words for you. That'll be a different kind of political spot. So I called my mama. And I had a gospel record playing in the background. And then I had my mother say, "Hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my sons, I raised them to be good children. When they got out of hand, I beat their behind and made them go right. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy." Usually in the state representative race, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people will come out to vote in a primary. In that primary race, over 27,000 people came out and voted, said, "I'm voting for Les Brown because his mama said he's a good boy." I won, ladies and gentlemen. I won.
Don't let her gender get in the way of you understanding that anxiety is to worry about something that hasn't happened yet. And anytime you worry, anytime you run from a threat, you are anxious. The Bible said, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, make your requests made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your heart and mind." Peace is the only antidote for anxiety. And all of us have something that threatens us, something that threatens to destroy you, threatens to expose you, threatens to kill you, threatens to apprehend your creativity, and he runs from the threat. The enemy doesn't have to do a lot of things to a lot of leaders, just threaten it. The threat of losing your marriage, the threat of losing your building, the threat of people bringing up your past, the threat will keep you in a box, and he runs from the threat. He lines up under the juniper tree. You know, that's a great thing about talking about leaders. You don't have to explain a lot because you already know your Bible. And he ends up under the juniper tree, and he's just there, and he's made 3 days journey in one. I mean, my God, Elijah had outrun the chariot. You know, that's bad when you outrun the chariot. And that's what happens when things explode in your ministry. They happen fast. You defy logic. You're not supposed to be able to outrun horses. And all of a sudden things start growing and they start falling into place. Or one moment you are seen as a normal person, and the next moment you are seen as a spiritual leader. You know, Shazam, it's like the Clark Kent Superman thing. You go in the phone booth and you come out, you're a man of God. Yeah, you're a great woman of God, you know, and to almost to the demise of being a person. So the great man of God calls fire down from heaven, but it wears his personhood out. Publicity will eat your personhood up till you cease to be a person. So the person comes up under the juniper tree, worn out, exhausted, depleted, at his wit's end. He's up under the juniper tree. He's tired. He's depressed too. He says, "Look, there are none left for me. Even I only am left. I am the only prophet left." He wasn't the only prophet left, but that was his perception. He's lonely. He's lonely and he's tired. Those wonder twins go together. Generally, when you get tired, you get lonely. You feel lonely not for the lack of people, because you always have people around you, but nobody's feeding you. Nobody's giving back to you. Everybody's drawing from you. I used to have a German Shepherd. German Shepherds, when they had babies, they had babies. I mean, it's puppies everywhere. And I can remember being a little boy seeing a mother German Shepherd give birth up under the porch, and all the little puppies are running up, and she's got nipples all up and down her, and they're all just... And she's just laying there, just giving it up. First woman pastor. She's first woman pastor. That's what it's like to be in leadership. Everybody's just... And you're just laying there giving it up, just giving it up, you know. And I don't know, because I never had nobody nurse on me, but I imagine that would be draining.